So what type of exercise you should be doing for fat loss? Okay, you've probably seen plenty of advertisements, whether it's on social media or on the television, about those fancy exercises where they're doing some sort of exhibition that we were meant to believe the bullshit that we have to do a special type of exercise to experience a successful fat loss. The truth of the matter is, if you want to be successful in terms of long-term fat loss management, is that you have to change your perspective towards exercise. So if you are one of those people who still think that exercise is a good tool to burn a lot of calories, then I want you to change that. You know why? Because you should be looking at exercise as in two ways. So first of all is you need to look at exercise as a muscle preservation agent and as a calorie partitioning driver. So let me explain. So when your goal is fat loss, your primary goal is to preserve as much muscle mass as you can. So once you become lean enough, you will be seeing those cuts in the muscle. Let's face it, majority of people seeking fat loss, we all want to be lean and cut. So you want visible veins on your biceps. You want bigger arms. You want visible abs. You want bulging pecs, or what have you. So when we try to cut down our calorie intake, what happens is our body doesn't know the difference whether we're simply dieting down to look good naked or we are starving to death. See, our body's instinct revolves around the primal drive, as if we are still living during those caveman days. So in terms of the second reason why we need to use exercise as a calorie partitioning agent is that consider muscles as hungry little suckers. So when we ingest calories, when we eat, there are only three fates of meals. First one is we burn we use the energy from food as heat or as energy. The second one is it gets deposited as fat, and the third one is it gets shuttled to the muscle. So obviously, you want those calories ingested to be either be burned as heat or energy, or be shuttled to the muscle mass. So when we are doing exercise, for example, when we're lifting weights, it increases the any muscle contraction. It increases the insulin sensitivity to that site. It's called the muscle insulin sensitivity. So when we ingest the calories, we are sensitizing our muscle insulin sensitivity. Therefore, we are giving a direct command to our body that, hey, you need to partition those incoming calories to the muscle, or it gets burned as heat. Because if we are active, if you keep yourself active, we pretty much burn majority of these calories as heat or energy for us to metabolize these foods properly. Obviously, your goal, if your goal is fat loss, if you want to become lean, is to take away those calories as much as you can away from to get deposited as fat. So that is the calorie partitioning advantage of doing exercise. So in terms of muscle preservation, That's why the primary exercise selection that we can keep for a long term, I highly suggest any bodybuilding type of exercise. I know it sounds boring, but hey, it works. You remember your primary goal to do exercise during fat loss is to preserve as much muscle as you can. You don't have to do fancy exercises. Don't believe those hype that you've seen on the television, from the social media or magazines, that you have to do these kind of fancy exercises. They're simply marketed to keep you entertained, to keep us amazed that, oh, there is a magic exercise that actually make us rip. There's no such thing. So like what I said, do exercise as a first of all, as a muscle preservation agent and as a calorie partitioning driver. So so if you're using a bodybuilding type of exercise, focus on compound movements such as a bench press, such as shoulder press, what else? Barbell rows or deadlifts, etc. The reason why you want to focus on these exercises is that these exercise movements are your best bang for your buck. Meaning to say, you're gonna be spending less time in the gym, or less time lifting weights, yet you are hitting several muscle groups. So if you also think about it, these exercise movements are multi-jointed movements, meaning to say you're hitting several muscle groups at the same time. So the reason why you can see like a high definition muscles on me is because I have a low body fat and I was able to preserve as much muscle mass as I can when I dieted down. That's it.